What's up, everybody? We are just chilling. We're gonna do this live stream. Few shoes I have to clean, as always. Just trying to see what's going on with folks. Still playing around with live stream. This is what is my second live stream on here. So I'm gonna be playing and see what's going on. So what is this? This looks like a filter. Yeah, whatever that is. We'll leave that alone. I don't want to learn more. Normal being, blah, 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 blah. No, none of that. I don't want to stop streaming. What? Let's see. I'm having issues already, so. Cleaning some shoes. Cleaning Air Max 95 at this point. And then I got two others that I have to clean. Kind of want to know what's the word of the day. What is the word of the day? This needs to go away because this is just annoying. I don't want to learn more, YouTube. I usually want to learn more, but I don't at this point. So I think the word of the day is the Skip Bayless tweet. So the Skip Bayless tweet. If you don't know about Skip Bayless has a show on Fox Sports 1. Skip Bayless is universally loved or universally hated. I'm indifferent to Skip Bayless because I think what he does, what he has to do for his career, i.e., money. I'm not going to judge anybody one way or the other. Because if you got to do for money, it might be for certain reasons. Maybe you have children. And if you have children, that means you have a legacy that you have to uphold. And you are willing to make sacrifices in your manhood to make sure those things happen. So, no judgment from me. That being said, Skip Bayless has no children. So his legacy stops with him. So that tells me he's selfish. He's all about Skip Bayless and what he does. He has his wife and he has his dog, Hazel. He has let that be known. And on top of that, what it tells me, whatever he does is all about the money. And whenever you do anything is all about the money, it, like I just said, it depends on the reasons. Because I would be willing to lower my manhood for a specific amount of time if it would contribute to the betterment of my family. I have no problem doing that. And so the fact that he's not a single man, but he's a married man. But who's he gonna leave his legacy to? Because it's safe to say that his wife around the same age, even if she isn't, if she's within 10, 15, 20 years of his age, the legacy stops. Your whole family legacy. And who knows how far or how long it goes back. Your legacy is done. And the reason I speak about legacy is men and women were put on earth to procreate and continue on humanity. So if you're not thinking about your participation in this overall ideal, then again, it just points back to selfishness. In society, teach us that selfishness is the way to go. Selfishness is not the way to go. And it does not mean like give up all of yourself and just be concerned about everybody else and do this and do that. It means that if you haven't figured this out already, life is about relationships. Life is about, I mean, it's really not that hard. You're in elementary school, you have a conflict with someone. That's a relationship. Relationships don't mean boy, girl, intimate, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that. Relationships, how you relate to the other person. That's what life is about. Just whole everything, life. You get a job, your relationship with your boss, your relationship with your coworker, your relationship with your boyfriend, your relationship with your coworker. Life is about relationships. So that being said, and that's how the human race continues. I am going off in a fucking tangent that I didn't even want to go into, but I'm going to continue. So, relationships, if you have a child or children, is still about relationships. So, let's move on to when you die. If you have a spouse or a significant other that's willing to take on these things, you sign all these papers, and this person can do this and this person can do that, that's a relationship. But if you die alone, that's a bad proposition. Because that means you haven't made the proper relationships in your life to make sure that your legacy continues. Because legacy is very important to men. And that's why men want to have children. Oh, yes, we do. In the black community, under 16% of men are making the majority of all the children in our community. So do we say, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me, but let me help it make sense. And these stats are on the CDC and a website called blackdemographics.com. I'm going to quote this. It's a stats site that are for black people, by black people. So less than 16% of black men make the majority of the children in the black community, which is only 51%, which I say only, but that's a lot. So that means, and here's how I'm going to put it to use. My stats may be a couple years dated, but the last time I looked at it, 54, and by the way, I don't fit into any of these categories except maybe the last one. 54% of black men are single and childless. You don't see this in your community. You don't hear this from your girlfriend, but it does not mean that it's not true. Step outside of your 7, 8, 9 friends. Please try to do that. Try to have a more global perspective because the world today is much more global. Much more global. 61% of black men are in the middle class. Okay, so we got 54% are single and childless. All right, 54. So 30% of black men are married. So you've automatically taken 84% of black men are off the market because of what are y'all looking for? How about this? The majority of people, no, I'm sorry, the majority of men make $47,000 a year. Men, that's across all races. And a lot of you women are looking for a certain lifestyle of all these men. So majority is more than 51%. So let's break these things down. Because if you believe in any statistics, you believe in all of them. Let's agree with that. Let's do that. So of men, period, across all races that make six figures or more, you're talking top 10%. So those ladies that decide to go for those top 10% of men, you're automatically excluding 90% of your choices. How is that fair to those men? How is that fair to you? Those men would love to be with you, but because so many of you out here make your six-figure incomes and this, that, and the other, you would not respect that man. You would automatically exclude him, and that man would be the best thing for you. And so why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this is we look at physical TV. I don't know who watches TV today. I have no idea. But I do know we're so in tune to social media, which is fine. But when you let it influence the way that you think and the way that you live, because you do it, you put on social media what you want people to see. You're not going to put on social media when your bills are late and then you get that shut off notice and then you're going to call them and try to negotiate with them. You're not going to put that on social media. You're not going to put on social media that the fact that you knew this dude was a piece of shit, but you decided to lay up with him anyway and have a baby or two or three. And then you left him. And then you got all this type of child support. Oh, that's not gonna go up on social media. But what you will do is you're gonna look at these women that go to Cabo. All women, by the way. And they having all this fun. These bitches are miserable. That's why they're all together. Misery loves company. Let's stop playing with this nonsense. Let's stop playing. And then we have these business minded females. I'm not going to call them women, they're business minded females. They would rather figure out this pie in the sky type of nonsense, this type of bullshit, to where they would rather go through all this. Here's what they're going to do: they're going to open up this nail shop and they are going to think that this is going to take them through the end of life without a man. Wouldn't it be easier to have a man to where you get to the point to where you really can't work anymore and that man is going to be there is all about cooperating with the man. You have to pick better, which is the bottom line. You got to pick better. You have to pick better. Because the first thing you're going to do is you make all the bad choices in men. And then what happens? When you're ready to do in your 40s what you should have did in your 20s, all of a sudden your pool is much smaller. And then there's no good men, in your opinion. You're not going to have a better opportunity than when you're in college because you're going to have the most access to the most men in those years, whether you go to college or not. I'm talking about in those years. So then when you're out here, think about this. Think about it. You're in college. You go to school. You're going to get your degree. You probably met that guy in college. But because he wasn't on the level that you're thinking long term, you dismiss him, you go out here, you get your college degree, you're making $100,000, and you're so strong headed and this, that, and the other, and then you're 27 years old. Doesn't sound like you're that old. But you still want to have kids. You want to have 3 kids, right? And then you're in a big city. You're in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta, Georgia. And you want to have 3 kids. And you want to have this man, right? When that man that you left behind in college, that was your man. That was your chance. Right? So now you're 30. No kids with your college degree, your 6 figures. If you were seriously thinking about a man that made less than that, you would think less of him than that. Because for whatever reason, women think the amount of money that I make, any man that make less than that, he's less than that. When men don't think that way. Men don't care about what you make. Men just want you to be cooperative with us. Simple. Simple. That's all we want. We really don't care about what you make. Your college degrees, for men, when you come to us and you lead with, well, I have a PhD, I have a master's, I'm out. We out. Yeah, I want nothing to do with that. And then I'm an entrepreneur, and then I own my own home, and then to do all this stuff. And those are accomplishments, but those are accomplishments that couples should achieve, not you by yourself, because it gives you such sense of empowerment to where you diminish the man that you should actually be with. Most people are average. And even though you have a college degree and this, that, and the other, you are still average. But you overvalue yourself to the point to where you think you're not average. And these men that you're looking for, do they want you? Because I just told you, they do not, they don't care about your college degree. They don't care about how much money you make. They want you to be cooperative with them. And the chances that you are cooperative with them, the higher a college degree, the less chance that you're going to be cooperative with them. So you know what? Everything that I said, you have to accept that. And another topic I wanted us to touch on was communication. Communication between men and women. So, ladies, if you don't want to be with a man, just be indirect. Most women are indirect and they tell these stories and these soliloquies and all this type of stuff. If you don't want a man, keep doing that. If you want a man will ask you a direct question. For example, what happened between, let's say, why'd you and your last man break up? Well, we just were incompatible. That's unacceptable to a man. We don't even know what the fuck that means. We don't know what that means. Just incompatible. Men don't think about incompatibility. We don't think about those type of things. The other question would be, who left the relationship? 80% of the time, look up the stats. I deal in stats. 80% of the time is women that deal with stats. I've heard women leave relationships because of sex. To a woman, a modern woman, that sounds ridiculous. But that's really not the reason. Why would you leave a relationship because of sex? Because I think when you took your vows, it really didn't mention anything about sex. And then I hear other women say, I left the relationship because I wasn't happy. Go back to your vows. Where did it say anything about being happy? Happy does not mean miserable. So let's go back to the core of relationships. Relationships are always give and take. By the virtue of us just being human, you like some things, I like some things, I don't like some things, you don't like some things. That's just the nature of things. So, because you're not so-called happy, that means that 80% of black women are going to just file for divorce and just leave? Is that where we're at now? Is there a possibility of working it out? Anything out? And I say anything. And then so women, but now we have some exceptions. If the motherfucker is hitting and abusing you, you gotta go. There's really no exceptions about that. There's no exceptions about that type of shit. I never will, never have hit a woman. That's unacceptable. If a woman hit you as a man, well, you have to evaluate why you chose her in the first place because you saw that shit in the beginning. And I'm supposed to be cleaning shoes, and I done went off on this tangent. But I don't even know where I was going to go with this next subject. So as far as relationships, let me talk myself back into it. So as far as relationships, going back into it, lost my train of thought. So that means this is a 25-minute live stream. It went so quick. But if y'all watch this on the playback, I would thank y'all. And we will see y'all the next time.